same. I can't get the other night out of my mind. I've had nightmares ever since Monday night.
I think you're both overreacting.
Same. What did we see anyways? I mean, who says we saw anything?
I mean, well, it was a little...
Be careful, Fernie. Don't overreact.
Okay, look, I'm not overreacting, but you gotta admit, Blaze, it was a little weird.
So what are you guys gonna do if Gordon walks in right now?
Is he supposed to be?
This is his house.
No, I mean, are you expecting him?
Well, we do have an appointment with him later to go ring Joel's doorbell and run.
That is weapon-grade stupidity.
That wouldn't surprise me, but you'll have to wait till Joe gets out of the hospital. He fell off his roof this morning.
Okay, so what is it about what we saw Monday that bothers you?
I think we saw Gordon's doppelganger. That's all it could be.
Come on, Fernie.
Look, we saw him in his front yard acting weird, and then he came inside, right?
Right?
Yet we had just witnessed him and Chris leave for California the day before, right?
Right?
So we called Chris, and she confirmed that Gordon was with her in California. So who else did we see?
Agreed. But there has to be a logical explanation for it, right? Right?
Well, of course, Blaze, there's a logical explanation.
What's your logical explanation?
Yes. Thrill us with your enlightening thoughts on the matter.
Well, let's go over it, and then maybe it'll all come back to you.
Go for it.
You guys remember that day we were at Joe's house, and we saw Gordon, or somebody who appeared to be Gordon, walk into his house.
Yes, we've covered this.
But he seemed different. He seemed odd. I mean, Gordon usually is pretty in control and slightly mysterious. But this guy was freaky.
Right.
Carry on.
So after we saw him go inside, we called Chris, and she confirmed that Gordon was with her in Cali.
Fernie, we've covered this.
Okay. So that night, we snuck in.
I will never forget being in there, hearing him moving around the house, but not being sure of where he was. It freaked me out, knowing it wasn't Gordon.
I remember seeing the things on the table. My first thought was he was robbing the place. But I thought if we could just see him up close, it wouldn't look like Gordon at all.
But then he stepped into the room, and it was Gordon. It was perfectly Gordon.
Yet it wasn't.
Exactly. There was something weird about him.
Yeah, that person seemed, I don't know, troubled?
And yet, on a mission. He seemed to be seeking out specific things in the house, and his demeanor was creepy.
Help me understand something. I understand what you're saying, and it was strange, but what was creepy about it to you?
Because he didn't seem like himself. He seemed disturbed, yet on a mission. He seemed out of himself, like he was afraid or urgent. I was horrified of the thought of him discovering that we were there. I've never been afraid of Gordon, but I was afraid of this person.
The presence in the room was very strong, frightening, but not scary.
No, not scary, but yes, frightening.
It had to be Gordon. Or his perfect doppelganger, like you said, Fern.
See, I just thought it was funny because here Gordon is getting ripped off by somebody who looks just like him. I mean, what would have happened if Chris had walked in?
Well, I would have freaked because we knew she was in Cali with Gordon.
See what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird. Seeing two doppelgangers at the same time would have finished me.
Okay, so anyway, he started bringing things into the living room and putting them on the dining room table. It was then that something happened that gave me nightmares.
He heard us.
Yes, I remember. And then we all split up. And Sabrina, you and I ended up on the other side of the wall from him.
I thought for sure he was going to catch us. And again, I've never been afraid of Gordon, but I was afraid of this person. And not a fear of danger, but a fear of, like how you would be afraid of an angel or something.
So after that, he went into the backyard and we regrouped. I had to know what he was doing with the things on the table, so I looked at them. There was old books, movies, even old games and magazines. Some of Chris's old love stories and things I never knew Gordon even liked or was into. It didn't seem like things Gordon and Chris would even have in their house.
It was crazy, but what happened next was just too much.
Yeah, when he started that fire in the backyard, I thought we needed to call the police.
All I wanted to do was get out of there.
So he took all the stuff off the table and he burned it in the backyard.
I remember watching through the window, seeing him standing there with his back to us, silhouetted by the fire.
And then we left. I felt so sad for Gordon because I felt like he was going through something, and he was burning things that held sad memories from his past.
Books and movies?
I didn't know that's what it was until you and Fern told me later.
So, question. Have either of you asked Gordon about this since they've been back from Cali?
Not at all.
No.
Nope.
Ever told Chris?
I figured if we told them, they would just ask why we didn't call the police.
Or why we were even in the house to begin with.
Yeah, I guess so.
What's the matter with you? You look like you just seen a ghost.
Oh, nothing. We're just happy to see you. Just wondering what brought you here. But it is your house, so of course you're here. I am killing this.
We've just been reminiscing.
Enjoying time in this house before it's sold and the new owners move in.
Yeah, it will be interesting leaving Agape Road. We've been here for a long time.
Oh, by the way, is it true that Joe fell off his roof while spying on Mrs. Mendelbright?
It is. I saw it with my own eyes, all four of them. In fact, I got a picture of it.
Oh, that's a framer right there.
Well, guess we should be going.
What were you reminiscing about?
Oh, just
Just wondering what we were doing this time last Monday night, I guess.
Random.
Yeah, Breen, you're random. Let's get going.
No. I mean, it is random, but it's ironic because I was kind of reminiscing about the same thing.
Really? You were thinking about what happened last Monday night?
Well, now we're interested.
will you tell us about it?
Yeah, it was last Monday when while me and Chris were in Cali.
Oh, gosh.
Really?
I was afraid you were gonna say that.
What?
She's fine, Gordon. Continue.
Well, while we were in Cali, the Lord has been really dealing with me as of late on a specific message that Brother Branham preached in 1963.
Oh, heck yeah. What message?
The token.
I love that message.
The Lord had been dealing with me on a very simple but a very profound subject, and that is applying the token, which of course I had done years ago. But the thought was, I'd been thinking how that when we apply the token to our hearts and to our homes, over the years we go from victory to victory, and God does so many things for us, but sometimes we can find ourselves where the Ephesian church believers found themselves. They loved the Lord, they served the Lord, but they had began to get relaxed. They began to get quiet. And in the church ages, Brother Branham said, when a church starts to get quiet, it shows that they're dying. But they began to realize that they had lost something. Actually, they left something, and it was their first love. And when we apply the token to our hearts and to our home, and we kick out all of the trash, if we let that revival die, or if we let that consecrated life start to get lax, we as believers begin to let down the bars, and we find ourselves doing things, seeing things, hearing things that just a short time before we know we never would have done. Because when that sin comes in, it's kind of like, for a matter of speaking, it's kind of like it causes that blood on the doorpost of our hearts to dry up and start to flake off. Not literally, of course, but it's because of what it does to our faith. Sin tramples our faith, and faith is how the blood is applied. Brother Branham said it's applied by simple faith. And so, as I was thinking on these things, the Lord really began to help me to see and to understand that as we're fighting our daily fight, we can't expect God to help us to battle the demons in our lives if we still enjoy those demons' company. If there's not something in our heart that makes us so sick of how we have been living and so sick of the compromise that we have allowed into our hearts, we're asking an awful lot of God to help us deliver or to deliver us from those things when we still enjoy those things. So I began to realize, and it just really started working on me, that when we apply the token to our homes and we kick the distractions out, we kick the world out, we kick all the ungodly sin out of our lives, that's all part of applying that token. But we allow these things to canker us, and we allow these things to hinder us. So I began to realize that if I'm serious about this thing, then I've got to sell out. I've got to let God have everything. So it reminded me of the Ephesian church age when they had left that first love. That's what God told them to do. You need to go back and do the first works again. You need to go back and do what you did that gave you the victory in the first place. You need to go back to your first love. So last Monday night, when me and Chris were in Cali, we were talking about these things, and we joined hands, and we decided to reconsecrate our lives to God and to apply the token afresh to our hearts and to our home. And we prayed that while we were there, even though we weren't here, that God would apply the token here to our home as well. And we vowed that as soon as we got home, we were going to kick all the trash out and burn it in the backyard. And that's exactly what we did.
I think I'm going to be sick.
So you were both in Cali when you...
I totally believe that.
Believe what? What do you mean?
He just means when you apply the token, perhaps that theophany gets to work before you do.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, thanks for the story, Gordon. I think you just cleared up a lot of questions that we had.
And created a few.
Well, good. I'm glad. And now if you all will excuse me, if you can wait until I get back, we can hit Joe's door as soon as I get back tonight.
Oh, you got it.
And I'll change into my running shoes. He's getting faster. You have to admit it, he is getting faster.
You guys are kidding, right?
Okay, so does this mean then what we saw Monday night was...
I'd rather not know. There's a lot of things going on in the spiritual that we know nothing about. And if that is what happened, then maybe God let us see it for a reason.
Right, so let's leave it alone.
So what happens if we see Gordon's doppelganger again?
Ask him for his autograph? I don't know what happens if we see my doppelganger.
What if we don't?
Let's get out of here. Don't you guys have to pick up the moving truck for Gordon's stuff?
Hey, let's listen to the token.
Oh, I'm already opening up the table now. You ever heard of knocking?
Just say your stupid line. I'm trying.
Hi everyone, I'm Hadassah Elkins. I play Sabrina Gribble on Agape Road.
Hi everyone, my name is Miriam Serrano and I play Rosa Montoya on Agape Road.
I'm Elijah Elkins. I play Blaze Taylor on Agape Road.
And I'm Esteban Castaño, and I play Bernie Montoya on Agape Road. And we have heard what you guys say about us and how we take too long to upload, and you know, there's a lot of time in between episodes. So recently, Brother Jeff Gordon has challenged us to film something in 24 hours. He gave us his script about a month ago, and we started filming today, June 14th, around 10:30, and we just finished around 3:30, and it's 4 o'clock right now. So we're challenging him to finish it by the end of the day, and we hope you enjoy it.
Agreed.